Well. That's my dog.
My dog.
Man, I knew it was right when we pulled up to at the same time. In the parking structure. Yep. It's been a minute. I want to start off, first of all, I miss you.
Man, same here.
Bro, let me tell y'all something about Akon. This was a few years back. I did a birthday downtown, and it was really only for my close family, friends, a few industry folks. But I rented out a club. It was at Continental Club downtown. And somehow earlier that day, we were on the phone. I was on the phone with somebody, and you were like, "That's Felli. Let me talk to him."
Right.
And just randomly, we had caught up, and he said, "What you up to, man?" I said, "Man, I'm getting ready for my birthday tonight." He goes, "Where?" And I told him where, and Con flew all the way. I think that same day you flew from Atlanta
that same day
to Los Angeles, and you told me you were coming. I'm like, man, whatever, man. and the birthday wasn't even, when you got there, I'm like, he probably was wondering, where's everybody at? Because I didn't really invite a lot of people. It was close friends. And I remember thinking, like, I didn't invite celebrities.
Right.
It wasn't one of those birthdays.
I know.
And so when you showed up, I was like, everybody was like, what the hell? Akon's here. I'm like, he showed up? It touched my heart, bro.
Yeah,
it touched my heart.
Right there. That's my man.
But that's been you since day one.
Yeah, man.
With my music career, you supported me.
Nah, but you always supported everybody else. Like you built a lot of careers, man, in this business.
We're here to talk about what you got going on, though, and I appreciate it.
No, but Felli, I know you're gonna run from that.
No,
but if you're listening, this man built a lot of careers, man, and he just did it just on the love and wanted to see the city make it. Like he never asked for anything back in return. I mean,
I asked
like
stuff
that
back in return.
Support.
I wish everybody was.
Well, he never asked anything from me back in return.
No, we did great music together.
You know,
and I wish everybody could be like you. I said this in a recent interview to Ty Dolla $ign and Mustard, because those are also two people that have always been cool in the gang, and but you my dog, and I wanted to get that out of the way before we really get into the heart of what's going on here. What's going on here is, I don't want to say you're back doing music, because I know that's something that's a part of your life all the time.
Right.
But you have a new song out. You are working on a new album.
Yeah. You're
touring around the world.
Yeah.
You're changing things around the world, not just in Africa.
It never stopped.
Man.
It never stopped, Fel. Like from the moment, like, you gotta understand, my last record that I released, album, was in 2008. I just realized that was almost more than 10 years ago.
That was when we did Get Buckin' here.
Right.
That was around the same time. Wait, you never came out with you always did songs with other people.
Right, exactly. I would still do features and do, specialty projects with other people and stuff like that. But it didn't hit me, like time flew by so fast. By the time I realized, oh man, I got to work on this album, that many years then went past.
Like 15 years.
Yeah,
something
man,
like that.
Like it's crazy.
And you still look the same, by the way.
Thanks.
I want to say it in the interview, but I can't say what I really want to say. You still look the same, man.
Nah, that's what's up.
So yeah, time flew by. You're doing stuff with other artists. Right. So you were getting your fix through music with other artists.
Yeah, through other artists. Because in the meantime, of course, I was building my businesses. I had my lighting company in Africa. I had my philanthropy projects moving. I got dipped and dived in the crypto side of things, kind of rebuilding the digital structure in Africa for this new city that I'm building in Senegal called Akon City.
I mean, of course, because
it's so much
everybody
happening.
builds a city.
So with all that happening, I mean, time just flew by so quick. And then I thought, man, I hadn't had time to really enjoy the success. I need to really find time to enjoy myself, man.
Hence the song.
Right, and that's how the concept of the song came about. Like, how do you live a life like this and not enjoy it?
The name of the song is called Enjoy That.
Yep.
And I think I'm saying the clean version, because the dirty version says in the hook,
enjoy that ish.
And then the clean version, you say enjoy.
Well, that's what I said. You know what? Just make the title called Enjoy That.
Enjoy it quick.
So enjoy. It says enjoy it quick for the clean version, and in the main version is enjoy that shit.
It is true. Right. It's true. And man, it's crazy because we talk about time flying. we've known each other since the early 2000s.
Yeah,
and
the beginning.
Man, I think sometimes I look at my kids, I look at my friends and family and people that I've known. I'm like, damn, shit moves fast.
Man, years fly past like minutes now.
And I don't know if you know, I've played this on the air.
Wow.
I played it last week, and right when I heard it, I loved it because I'm like, oh yeah, I know the sample got me right away.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I thought about Mario Winans.
Right.
I thought about
Fugees.
Fugees.
Yep.
And that's one of my favorite songs and samples of all time. And I was like, yeah, and my boy on the hook and everything he's talking about is good. This is it. It's easy to play this song.
Wow.
So you're coming out with a whole album.
Yep.
Who are you working with? And that's the other thing. So you know so many producers, so many songwriters. You write most of your stuff.
Yep.
Every time we've been in the studio, whether it's something you did with me and for me, or I did produce songs for you,
right,
you always wrote your stuff.
Right.
And I want to tell the Get Buck little.
I want to story.
I want to tell. I'm gonna tell the. I'm only gonna tell a part of it because we'll be here all day. But when you wrote Get Buck in here, it changed my thinking and outlook. You know, I had spent so much time on songs with writers, and they just slave over the song, and they're just hunched over the board writing for days, and you know, then you hear what it's like, that's cool,
right?
And then you come in and write Get Buck in here hook in about, I want to say it was about a total of 35 minutes.
The song was done
from the time that you wrote it and sang the hook.
Right.
So I'll tell y'all the story. So I'm in Vegas. Kanye's out. Kanye. I want to ask you about Kanye. That's been on my mind. Akon's out there, and he's like, "Come to the studio," and we start playing songs. And he's like, "Man, you played me a song in L.A. a few months ago. It had an electronic sound." Yeah. He goes, "Play that one." And I'm like, "Electronic sound." So I go through and I'm like, "Is it this?" And he was like, "Fuck yeah, that's it. That shit fell." You know, and you were just excited. And I'm like, "Man, let's go."
Right.
You started turned it up. You started writing, and I told my boys that I was with, "Yo, let's go play pool." and we went and played pool and left you alone. And an engineer came up, like it couldn't have been 30 minutes later, and said, "Yo, Akon wants to play what he got." And I came back in, we turned it up, and I heard, "We about to get Buck in here." And I was like, what the fuck is really happening right now? This shit is amazing. Like, I couldn't believe it.
No,
and
what's up.
It's just a testament to your talent.
But you know, but there was some credit due to you too, because it was one point where I kind of questioned it, because I was like, "Yo, Felli, I think my pitch is too high." You was like, "Hell no, man, that's Taylor." You remember that?
I know what I remember.
Right.
Is that I came in there and I was like, "This shit is crazy. Don't
Right.
change shit."
Right.
And I do remember you I want to do this, and I'm like, "No,
don't touch it."
No, because I knew,
Yep.
like, even if it's possible in some crazy way that he can make this song any better than it already is, I don't need that. Like,
Right.
don't even,
That's real.
yo, go enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy
Yeah.
Vegas, man. And it changed my life. That song changed my life. And we've had this conversation a million times, but that song, along with some others, took me around the world. But Get Buck in here changed my life.
Man.
It changed my life, man.
That's
and I can't say enough about that. But how talented you are. And, you know, did you, when you, it's still the same process? You listen to a beat, you write, you go in there, bam.
Yep. From the moment I hear it, I just, if it don't come to me automatically, then it ain't. Go to the next rate.
The next question, I guess, comes to mind. Why stay away for almost 14 years, however long it's been, from doing your own stuff?
Well, that's the thing. Like, I got so consumed with the business part of it that come with the business. And with business, you got to follow up. You got to always be, you know, you got to be consistent. That's the only thing. For business to be successful, you got to be consistent. You can't really have one foot in, one foot out. And I got so caught up in so many business deals that I had to see them all the way through, and it took so much time away from the music.
Did your brother Boo help you?
Now, Boo,
or has it been a thing where you kind of, because Boo,
Boo stayed in the music. Like, honestly, Boo saw what I was doing outside of music, So he took the advantage of taking full-fledged advantage of the music side of it. So while I had stopped focusing on music, he was focused. He dialed in even harder.
And the reason I bring up your brother Boo is because we were talking about business, and I
Right.
know Boo has managed Chris Brown.
Right.
Help me out.
Right. I mean, Kanye.
Kanye.
I mean,
Is
man.
he still working with Kanye?
Well, he's now he's the executive over at Sony, so he can't have, he can't do both. But he is doing some consulting and stuff like that on the side for him.
And that's a good segue.
Yeah, that's a great segue.
If he was still working with Kanye, how would he feel about the current situation with Kanye and the whole White Lives Matter thing? And
honestly, that would be. You know what? I'm gonna ask Boo that question. That would be something to.
that's Akon's nice way of telling me that that's not a question for me. That's a question
That's
for
for
my
Boo
brother.
to ask for sure.
Yeah.
Because I definitely got to ask him myself.
Fair enough. Well, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, my thoughts, me, I've learned to just see things from a different lens in different areas, right? So when it comes to Ye and how he feels about things, I just look at it like that's how he feel. I don't necessarily have to agree with it, but I think
That's a strong feeling.
Yeah, it is a very strong feeling. But we all have strong feelings. But the thing is, how do you let someone else's idea of their perspective affect your energy or time?
Right.
Or take you out of your mood because you don't agree with the person.
Right. So do you think this is one of the, because here's what I think. I think this is one of these things where at some point, it might not be a month from now, but is it one of these things where a year from now, he's going to come out with an album saying, "Psych, got y'all motherfuckers. I did it to prove a point. This is why I supported Donald Trump. This is why I did the White Lives Matter thing. This is why I did this and this." Do you think it might be a meticulous game plan that he has?
Well, me personally, I thought it was a good strategy for him wanting to run for president. I feel like he needed those hard Trump supporters.
A strategy to help
to
him
segue into his presidency the following next term, because he's actually trying to run, right? Now, what better way to gain that base than to support that base like now? Right?
But can't you support the base in another way politically other than...
Yes, but does Kanye does it other ways?
Right.
No, he does it his way. It's like like we don't know what's going on in his mind, but he got a plan that he's following because he hasn't shared that plan with us. But I could be totally wrong. Maybe that's just how he genuinely feel. I'm just hoping, and I'm trying to give him an excuse for a comment like that because it just doesn't make any sense when you think about the reason why Black Lives Matter phrase was even created in the first place. It was a history of abuse and racism and being being treated unfairly. Like it got to the point where it became a cornerstone where people had to speak out. So that phrase was created to now say, okay, this is the phrase we're going to fight for. No one says that white lives don't matter or Indian lives don't matter, everybody's life matter. But our life not mattering is what got us to this point.
And that's what hence the phrase.
Exactly. So it's unfair to take that phrase and compare it to 400 years of history. It's just not fair.
That's only 400 years of history in this country.
In America, right.
So where you're from, how does that resonate when... in Africa, when the Black Lives Matter movement, if you will, became very prevalent in society? How did the African culture embrace that?
Well, the African culture was like, of course we matter. In Africa, they don't have those problems.
No, but
we matter very much.
Right. You're stupid. Well, Stop.
But if they did support it, it was on the support of African Americans because they know the challenges that African Americans are dealing with in America. So that phrase is not as strong in Africa because we don't have those issues amongst each other.
Are they saying this is some dumb shit? Who says that?
No, they're saying Americans need to fight. They protest too much.
So a typical, I should say, African citizen would look at the Black Lives Matter movement when that started and say, okay, I see why it's about time they started standing up for themselves in America. Is that safe to say that that's how African...
The typical African, and I would hate to be the one speaking for all of Africans, but Africans have they have nothing but love in their heart until it gets to the point where the love is gone. Then it becomes they start to attack. Right? So even like when you look at a lot of these leaders, they led for so many years with no interruption. But when you get to the point where your leadership is creating starvation and hunger and all of this craziness, okay, then now they got to cool you out and put somebody else in. So that's why it's a lot of coups that happen in Africa. The people are always uprising when things ain't right. So if they watch in America for so many years that this continues to happen, and nobody does anything but just protest. It's like, okay, you can continue to protest, but if there's no change, what are you going to continue to protest? At what point are you going to fight for your right or fight for the right to live? But so after a while, you just sit there and be like, okay, I guess whenever these guys are ready to revolt, they'll revolt. But till then, you're going to continue to be treated like that.
And what has motivated you? And I can think of a couple things on top of my mind that may have, but motivated you to do what you're doing in Africa, building cities,
right? Which
is crazy to even, like, when I say that, I'm just like, that's crazy. Like, I'm thinking about even a small city. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're not building like Mayberry, you know what I'm saying? This is like a real city. And how does one wake up one morning and say, fuck this shit, I'm gonna build a motherfucking city?
Right.
Like, is that?
Well, I don't. It wasn't that just this was a childhood dream when I first came to America, and America looked like the Jetsons to me compared to what in the environment that I was living in. I was like, man, one day I want to be able to do this in Africa. So as you get more successful, you start to create a $1 trillion network around billionaires, and you're looking like, wow, these are all people that's in certain sectors that I can bring together to build something like this, because they're all in the arena. They're all in real estate. They're all in agriculture. They're all in education. They're all in medical. Like they're all a part of all things that create an economy that actually builds real structures that people can live solidly in and happily in, right? So I was like, I want to build a city one day. So I just started reaching out to all the people that I knew could invest in a city like this and raise the money and push it forward. But it had to be people that understand also the value of Africa as well, too.
Now, and how did you meet these people? Because, and I know you pretty well on a personal level, and I know that you're a people person and you talk to people, and you're not that artist that just goes in the venue, performs, and leaves. I don't want to say kiss hands and shake babies. That would be a different approach. Maybe that's Kanye's political approach. You shake hands and kiss babies. That's not necessarily what I'm saying that you've done, but you've always been very appreciative. You take time to meet people. Do you attribute those things as to, because like knowing these people, that's not a small thing. Like most artists can't say, I know this gazillionaire that's in the banking business. I know this person that's a sports mogul. Like, what do you attribute building those relationships to?
I think it's actually investing time in human resources. Like everybody's always looking for people that they can get something from. Like, they don't meet friends unless there's an advantage of that person being your friend.
There's ulterior motive.
There's always an ulterior motive. Like me, all the people that's around me are real good friends. I can go years without talking to them, and it's like we ain't never not talked. Like, it's nothing you can ask me, Fel, and I won't be there for you. And I'm sure if I ask you for anything that you can afford to do, you'll do it. So when you got those kind of friends that's actually in very fortunate positions, because it's not about the money, it's about, your dream and your vision, and they believe in your vision the way you believe in it, then it's easier to make those approaches. Or they may just see you creating an opportunity or a vision that you're trying to chase, and they be like, hold on, maybe I can help you with that. I got these guys, I can do this. So it was that. It wasn't like I went and found them. They just saw that what I was trying to do, and then they all reached out and said, listen, I got resources that you can utilize, and they're free for you to use it however you want to use it.
Do you reach out to artists that you've worked with in the past or currently still work with, like Lady Gaga or T-Pain, or I can keep going, and in some cases ask for their assistance with things? And I want to talk about a new artist you're working with as well.
Right. So, yeah, a lot of them, I never wanted to ever burden the people that I was working with, right? And I always feel like in this industry today, with today's day and age, everybody got so many things that they're doing and so many dreams and ambitions that they're chasing, that if I call them out of what they're trying to do to help what I got to do, it's almost like, I'm being selfish to them. You know what I mean? So I always wanted people to just voluntarily, just on their own, want to be a part of it. So whenever I had my foundation, and they all tell you, I never reached out for them for no donations, never reached out to them to do any concerts to raise money or anything. I just did it how I did it. And if they called and said, yo, man, I want to support you on your, then I'd be like, I would gladly accept it.
You're a very humble dude.
You're
a very humble dude, and it's rare to see somebody as humble as you that doesn't really call on favors, and I think that's why I asked that question. Able to do the kind of things you're doing,
right?
It's really amazing to me. But then hearing myself talk, I guess part of people wanting to help someone like you is your humble. Humility is the word I think I'm looking for. And that's motivating to someone. And you tend to have that. Like every time I hang out with you, I always am reminded like this man is a multi-millionaire, has so much success, has achieved so many things, and you're still the same guy that I met back in 02 or whatever it was. Yeah. Same guy. And that's I don't even know. Do you know how rare that is? You're a rare you're a rare being, bro. You're rare. And people that are in the industry that really know you understand that there's many different facets and many different sides of you, from the streets to your business doings and dwellings, if you will. And I just find it amazing, man. You are a one in a gazillion. I just want to give you your flowers. I want to give you your props because, man, it's tough when you could say so many things and you don't. You could call so many people and ask for so many favors and you don't. I don't know that you've ever asked me for a favor.
I would never burden you like that.
And that's crazy to me.
I wouldn't.
It's crazy to me, man.
No, I wouldn't.
So when you tell me, I know if I called on you, you'd be there. I'm thinking to myself, have you ever called on me to be there? And you can't say well, yeah, Fel, you've always helped me and played my records. That's my job. You know what I'm saying? And it's not like you had shitty records. You've made it easy from day one. I
appreciate that, man. I appreciate that.
I mean, let me. This man has put me in. I remember one time you were out here and I got a call. Yo, can you DJ for me tonight? I'm on. Was it Jay Leno?
Yeah, Jay Leno.
It was Jay Leno. Lonely?
Yep. It was Jay Leno.
And I was like, hell yeah, I can DJ for you on Jay Leno. And I'm thinking to myself, now you did that's the kind of favors, ladies and gentlemen, that Akon calls. Hey, you want to come here and have a FaceTime on national TV?
It should enhance your life for sure. The same way it's helping me, it should help you.
And then from just seeing how you are with everybody's amazing. And now, so Convict Culture label. Right. You have a new artist.
Yep.
Let's talk about this artist. I'm gonna say the name wrong, so I'm gonna have you.
Let's see. I mean,
you want me to try to say the name?
You remember when I first came out? People thought my name was Akon.
Really?
Akon. Until I came and said, no, it's Akon.
So I'm gonna try to say this. Ghanaian. I was close.
He's from Ghana.
Okay. Ghanaian. And the producer is Necktunes.
Necktunes, yeah.
Okay.
Not Neptunes, but Necktunes.
Necktunes.
Yeah, Necktunes. So he's
Are they fans of the Neptunes?
They didn't even know who the Neptunes was.
Okay.
Because he's straight from Ghana. He's a DJ, DJ, pretty much DJ, like David Guetta or DJ Khaled. Or you,
So when you say like David Guetta, you don't mean like up-tempo EDM music. You just mean like he's a producer DJ.
He's a producer DJ, but the kind of music he does is on the level of dance, but for Africans. So you like with every genre, there's a more up-tempo version of that. Like with Afro beats, we have now what you call Amapiano. So Amapiano is almost like the club dance versions of those kind of records. and it's stressed and I mean it was created
the
out
club
of South
versions
Africa.
of the Afrobeat records.
Right.
So you'll take a 102 BPM Afrobeat record and bump it up to 128, 130.
In that, yeah, exactly, like around
I
that
see.
area. So that's a smooth spot. But he's like that guy in that era. So it was this huge record that blew up on TikTok with an artist named Goya that he produced and wrote. And everybody know the phrase when you go, "You want to chill with the big boys, you want to pump." Well, he's the one that produced that record. Like that record is Amapiano, by the way, just so you know. It's not Afrobeat, but the tempo of it tells you, okay, if it's Afrobeat or Amapiano, because if you don't know the difference, you would just assume it was Afrobeat.
And how did you meet?
Yeah.
You know, obviously you have the African connection, but what?
Right. So Necktunes is like one of many artists out of Africa that we supported to get to them to break outside of Africa. Like when we first started, when I left the U.S. and went to South Africa for the 2010 World Cup, my next stop was to go to Nigeria. And from there, why I spent so many years in Nigeria, because we was building the Afrobeat scene in which you.
By the way, I just realized what my dumbass was saying over here. I thought I was like, is his name Ghanaian? Produced by the Necktunes?
But it's cool, Felli. It's cool.
Anyway, go ahead. I just realized right now. Got it. Got it.
Yeah, so
he is producer Necktunes.
Yeah, he's producer Necktunes. So he's one of the many artists that we're breaking out of Africa right now.
So how does that work? How do you, when you say breaking out of Africa, what is that formula? What do you, nowadays, especially in the digital streaming world?
Right. So basically what it is, you sign them as an artist. Also, it's pretty much a 360 type of art deal where you sign them for their services, get them work, get them major projects, blow them up, put them on tour, create a merchandising line for them so they can make others, merchandising type of money. Like wherever there's money to be found in his talent, our job is to go find a way that his name can be pretty much turned into money. So
all this time, you've maintained a team within the music industry.
Oh no, I never stopped doing music because I was still writing, still producing. The whole time people didn't hear me physically. I was still writing and still producing for other artists. And then right before Necktunes, actually I got an artist named Amira. She's the first female artist rapper that I've ever signed. So we're dropping her next month, November.
And she also...
She's on common culture as
African?
well. No, she's actually originally from Virginia, but raised in Atlanta. Oh, okay. She's a beast. Like she's about to...
So is she's a singer?
No, this is the thing. She's a rapper, but she also sings.
Okay.
And you know me, I'm gonna make sure
you gotta have some melody up in there.
Right? Come on now, melody got to be there.
So would you say? I don't even like to compare anybody to anybody, but is it like City Girls meets Doja Cat?
I would say it's Doja Cat meets Nicki Minaj meets Thames.
Oh,
in one artist.
Ooh,
that's how I would.
And what attracted you to her?
Well, what I attracted her was her body. She was fine as hell. I was like, God damn, what the fuck?
Honesty is always the best policy, ladies and gentlemen.
You know what I'm saying? Then we met, and I was like, wait, have you ever been an artist? She's like, yeah, I'm an artist. And I was like, oh, you are an artist. And
so you guys met on some, damn, this chick is fine as hell. I got to meet her.
It met me trying to bag.
Right.
That's how we...
Yeah. Okay. Like I said, honesty's always the best policy.
Right. And then before you know it, she gave me her little history and the things she went through. And then I was like, okay, we could do it. So then I started putting her through the system to start like developing her as a real artist.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I can't wait to hear that.
Oh, yeah, she's a beast.
It already sounds like hit material in the making. I don't even like to say hit material. It sounds like it's about to be some amazing music.
Yeah, it's going to be big.
What advice would you give your younger self? I know that's such a damn generic interview
actually, it's
question.
It's not really. Because
but I'm curious.
It's actually not really. But I mean, the way I see how my career worked out, I would tell my younger self to just keep doing what you're doing. Because I turned out amazing, and I'm so happy with how the outcome came out. I think if I would have changed anything about myself or anything about how I came up, it wouldn't have been this successful.
And it's crazy because when you think about it, celebrities, successful people, artists to get asked that question, it's like, why would you change anything else? Because you're
You
doing,
are who you are,
unless you're
right?
just totally unhappy with yourself and how
Right.
shit's turned out, right? You know what I'm saying? I'm never asking that question ever again in an
No,
interview.
how about you
This is
keep
great.
asking it? Because then they'll tell you what's really going on without saying what's really
Let me
going
tell
on.
you why I asked you that. Because recently, Ray J was asked that question. And it was a crazy answer that he had. And I was wondering if there was going to be one of these things with you. He basically said I would tell my younger self it's okay to do things like tap dancing. And he goes, I always wanted to tap dance.
Right.
He goes, I wish I'd have known that. I was trying to be too cool. And he went on to say, I wish I could have tap danced more. Yeah. And I'm like,
What?
Ray, what the fuck is going on, Ray?
What's happening?
What the fuck? So I was wondering,
That
was
is
there
so
that
funny.
little boy inside Akon that wished that he could do some tap dance? Like, was there ever? Here's a good question. So for me, I was a baseball player,
Right.
And I produced music. I was a
It's
DJ.
interesting you said that.
And I went to Braves baseball camp and everything. Like, I was on the traveling teams, the whole 9 yards. And music kind of took over. And to this day, as much success for whatever it's worth that I've had in music and radio and DJing, I always wonder, like, man, I wonder if I could have made it playing baseball.
That's how I feel about soccer.
Okay, that's what I was getting at.
Honestly, had I not been doing music,
You look like a damn soccer
I would have
player.
been in Europe playing for the Premier League without a doubt.
No shit.
1,000%.
Man.
1,000%.
Yeah.
The thing is, I was ranked number
And
one.
Ray J would be a tap dancer.
Oh, he
I'd
would-
be a baseball player. You'd be a soccer player. Ray J would be. What's
Tap
up,
dance.
Ray? You know it's never
He be
too
in
late.
Vegas. He be in
Tell
Vegas
him
tapping.
it's never too late to tap.
Ray, it's never too late, bro. I promise you, man. Now, even better, you actually would draw a crowd now because people will be so like curious to see how good you can tap, man.
Yeah.
I would definitely be front row seats.
Yo.
I promise you.
Yo, make another explicit video and tap dance in that motherfucker. That'll just blow it all to pieces. Bro, we could keep going, man. I could talk to you all day.
No, absolutely.
I got to get back on the air. You got things to do.
Yeah, we got more.
Where is your next stop?
My next stop actually is Miami. So we'll be in Miami. We're gonna be doing all them other spots like Drink Champs and everything else like that.
Oh, and I was about to ask you.
Yeah.
I was about to ask you. Are you gonna go see Nori?
You know I gotta go see
Man,
Nori. I
now
love
see,
Nori,
I
man.
take it easy on you. Nori about to, boy.
No, but it's interesting because me and Nori's relationship is similar to how me and yours is. We could talk about any and everything, like literally anything we could talk about.
But Nori's gonna hit you with one of those like friendly, like, so, what about the blah blah blah? You're gonna be like, you motherfucker. Yeah. There's gonna be Nori asked those. He asked those. I call them you motherfucker questions.
You motherfucker
The interviewee is going, you motherfucker, and then they answer it somehow, some way.
That's
Bro,
too funny.
I love you, man.
Nah, same here, bro.
Nothing but the most respect, and you already know what it is. I can't wait to hear the whole album. By the way, the new album's called Q1, right?
No, it's called Akonic.
Where did I get this? Who put this in front of me?
No, because
I'm Ron Burgundy.
because
You
it's
put it
coming-
in front of me, I'll read it.
As of right now, and it might change, but the album would be dropping Q1.
Q1.
Yeah, first quarter.
We're definitely cutting this part out of the interview. I thought your artist name was
Ghanaian.
Ghanaian is
from
of
Ghana.
Ghanaian descent.
Right.
I know this, ladies and gentlemen.
Right.
You know what? We're not cutting any of this out. I want to show the world how dumb I really am. Shout to Necktunes.
Amira.
It says new album Q1. It means the new album's coming out Q1.
Exactly.
I'm an idiot, ladies and gentlemen. But the name of the album is called
Akonic.
Akonic.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Can't wait to hear the whole album.
Man.
Nobody loves you.
So-
Felli Fel loves you.
Bang. Same here, brother.
Mm.